Hi again, this is Pepper. All this time available that I've had lately has gotten me used to making videos for you. So here's one more. And there are a few terms. I'm kind of a language person, and I fall in love with different terms that are meaningful to me, that are specific to use and to the work that I do, this relationship that we have to the world and to the earth and to knowing ourselves and each other better. And so there are words that lend themselves more specifically to what we can discover about ourselves. And maybe because I see so many other terms are so overused in some ways that they kind of lose their meaning a little bit, that I try and go in search of what we can do to fine tune some of these things. So the last time I made a video for you, I talked about Anima Mundi and Axis Mundi. And so these two terms are related, but separate enough that I wanted to put them in a different context for you as well. So the term is Imago Dei, and Dei is spelled D-E-I, Imago Dei. And the literal translation of that really just means image of God. And we've all heard the term made in the image of God and things like that. So this is a little bit not like that. So does not describe a physical image or a physical likeness at all, nothing like that, but more as in terms of an inherent nature. What are we made of? What is that stardust or all those things that cause us to come together? And maybe because we too quickly say, oh, that's just human nature or things like that, that I like to be more specific and say we're so much more than that. And we're capable of so much more than just relegating things to saying, well, that's just human nature. So when we say Imago Dei, there's no shape, there's no place, there's no way to define it in that way. But it's one of the things that makes human beings special or different than other animal beings or creature beings. And it is this nature, this human nature, inherent nature. And so another way to say it is more than like, it's like a spiritual endowment. It's something that has been endowed within us, placed within us. It is what we are. It flows through our veins. It is in our blood. It is in our DNA. So it's also another way to say potential. It's another way to say that we have an independent value that's not necessarily related to our function or what we do or what we look like. It's another way to say as well, something that human beings have is a center, that axis mundi. We have a centered nature. We have creative freedom when we actualize it. We have that possibility for self-actualization, to come to know that nature within ourselves and to transcend that nature as well. So all of these things are part of that Imago Dei, that natural, inherent, essentialness that we are, that in some ways describes us so much more than being just human. We're doing things that humans do. We have the capacity for deliberation, for independent decision making, for being awake and asleep in bigger ways. And so when we work on that nature, when we work to develop that nature, it's another way of saying that we are striving for our wholeness, or to bring all those separate natures into one essential nature. And that's what Imago Dei is. It's our inherent nature. So more than human, different or less than divine, depending on how you put it. There's other ways to describe us. So the other word that goes along with that, just like Anima Mundi, we coupled that with Axis Mundi. So Imago Dei, there's also Imago Mundi. And what that means is the image of the world on the earth, or the image of the universe on the earth. So it's a way of taking, it's a representation of everything that is the cosmos as viewed from the earth. So for instance, if we took a map of the earth and flattened it, that would be, you know, a two-dimensional, say, version of this map, or of a round earth. So in Imago Mundi, we are taking an image of the cosmos, of the earth, of the universe, and we are, in a sense, flattening it as well, making it on the earth so we can represent it for ourselves, so we can relate to it from our essential point of view and from the earth point of view. So it's a way to organize our thoughts and our experiences around a much bigger concept, the concept of the universe or the great cosmos. It's a way that we can, it makes it relatable. So when we say Imago Mundi, we have our way to relate to the image, relate to the world from our own point of view here on the earth, from our own centered nature, from our own axis. So it's a way to relate to the earth. So again, it's a crossroads, cross winds, find a center from the earth point of view. And to do that, we could easily find our center within us. And then when you have a center, because we want to relate earth and heaven together, so we want there to be an apex. So somewhere above us, there is a point, an invisible point, however high or low that is, there's a point. And then we need to ground that, because here we are on the earth. So through that same axis, or some people like to imagine it more as a pyramid, so we ground that image of ourselves centered in our world, centered in the universe, and then that becomes our world expression. Here we are in our life, grounded in our reality, expressing ourselves in as grand a way as we can upon the earth. So the benefit of understanding some of these things is that the world gets to be what the world is, and there's a place for us that way. There's always a place for us. Here's our center, there's the apex, that's what's above us, and here it is grounded upon the earth. So this humanness that we are, this image of our essential nature participating here on the earth, relating to Anima Mundi, relating to the earth, relating to the animals, plants, kingdoms, minerals, elements of the earth. We are creating a broader, better defined relationship. And so maybe, especially these days, it won't feel like we're being bounced around. Sometimes I think it looks a little bit like we're bounced around in a pinball machine, in a little balls in a pachinko machine, and just all scattered all over the place. And I think more than ever, we need to bring some of these energies together, understand them a little bit more, work with them, and in that way also work with the earth and the other kingdoms. So this was my plan, is my plan for working with you this year, and coming up with some classes that will hopefully be of interest to you as we learn to express this way and express ourselves in our daily life this way as well. Because I think it's obvious we need to do this for ourselves and for each other. And we can relate to each other in human terms this way as well. So, you know, one of the things that this will benefit as well, doesn't benefit just humanity, it benefits nature. Because if we get to be what we are, our true nature, and express that true nature, then we can allow other aspects of nature to just be what they are as well, to not force it, to not force something to be what we decided in our last paradigm worked. So relating to ourselves and each other in a slightly different way, I think will help us relate to the earth and understand some of these bigger things that are happening in the earth as well. So that's it for today, a little sharing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.